Okay, hello everybody. I've got a real quick, a very quick, very good recipe for a pumpkin bread. This is my favorite recipe. Okay, I will put the ingredients down in the description box down below of the video. You know, I'll put all the amounts. Okay, here's what you need. You need one 15-ounce can of pumpkin. Okay, also, you know, when you're mixing something in the mixing machine, always put the wet ingredients in first. On a recipe like this, everything is gonna go into the bowl all at one time. There's no, you know, mix this with that and whip this and cream that. Nah, there's none of that. You just throw everything in. Alright, so that's 1 can of pumpkin. Get 4 eggs. Remember, always put your wet ingredients in first. That'll help. It won't be sticking. Alright. Here's 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. Unsifted. Okay? Alright, here is 2 cups of sugar, but what it actually is a ½ cup of brown sugar and 1½ cups of stevia. You know, if you don't have an issue with sugar, then what you need is 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. Alright, but I have an issue with sugar, so I put in a ½ cup of brown and 1½ cups of stevia. Alright, here goes 10 prunes. You know, chopped small. Alright, the reason for the prunes is because I had them laying around in the refrigerator and I want to get rid of them. Alright, here's 1 cup of chopped pineapple. Now, I wouldn't use the crushed pineapple. I would use, you know, pineapple chunks and cut them up a little smaller. Here comes a big heaping cup of chopped walnuts. And here are the spices. Okay, now listen. Any pumpkin recipe that I find, whatever it is, pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, pumpkin cake, it doesn't matter. There should be 4 spices. If the pumpkin recipe does not have 4 spices, I just ignore it and just keep moving on. That's all. Alright, the spices are, and the amounts for this is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, a ½ teaspoon of ginger, and a ½ teaspoon of cloves. Those 4 spices make up any kind of pumpkin stuff. Also in here is 1½ teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Alright? And the reason why I mix them up there is sometimes they could be lumpy and you don't want lumps. You know, you want to make sure there's no lumps. So I always keep those separate and mix them up like I just did. Alright, now I know I've shown you this 100 times, but I'm going to show you one more time. When you get a new spice, cut the top so that it's halfway. Alright? That way, when you need to measure something, you know, you need a ½ teaspoon of cloves, no problem. Put it in and just slide it off, and you'll have exactly a ½ teaspoon. You know, you don't have to mess around with it. So, you know, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, everything. When it's brand new, just cut the top halfway and you'll have a perfect measuring device there. Okay. Now I need oil and I need water in here. I waited till the end because I didn't want to get the measuring cup wet. Alright, now the oil is 1 cup of vegetable oil. 1 cup. Woo. Okay, and the water is 2/3 of a cup. There we go. 2/3 of a cup of water, 1 cup of oil, and that's it. Now I'm gonna mix it for about a minute. Also, here is 1 cup of dried cranberries that I had soaking in water to swell up a little. Measure them before you soak them. Measure 1 cup and then put them in something else and put some warm water in and let them expand a little. Okay, now we're just gonna mix this about a minute. That's it. It's done and done. It's really a simple, very simple recipe. Alright, now this is going to make 8 of these little loaf pans. I found these loaf pans at Walmart, believe it or not, and they were like, I don't remember how much they were. They were very cheap. They were like 6 of them for $1. And you can reuse them. Alright, so let me see. You're gonna put in, you're gonna put in a little less than a cup in each pan. Yeah, that one's perfect. That first one has too much in it. I'm gonna take some out. But that's what you want. A little bit less than a cup in each pan. Alright, and you're going to cook them at 350 for, I don't know, approximately 30 to 35 minutes. Somewhere around there. Man, I'll tell you what, this stuff is really good. This is one of my favorites. You know, I dug around in one of my recipe books, and I found this recipe. Now, the recipe itself doesn't have all this stuff in it. It doesn't have the cranberries. It doesn't have the pineapple. It does have the nuts. It doesn't have the prunes. You know, the recipe that I had was just very simple. So I added all this stuff to it. And boy, it sure is good. Alright. So here we go. Now, one of the bad things is you can't eat this stuff warm because you have so many chunks of stuff in it. You know, like the pineapple, the nuts, the cranberries, you know, all that stuff, that if you try to cut it when it's warm, it's just going to fall apart. So what I do is I put it in the refrigerator overnight. And the next day, I mean, you can't beat it. It is the best. Alright. So there we go. We got 8 pans. They're going in the oven. I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Maybe I'll try to cut one. And we'll go from there. Okay, see ya. Okay, everybody, here we go. They've been out of the oven for approximately 30 minutes. I'm going to try to cut one, and we'll see what happens. Like I say, usually if they're too warm, it's very hard to cut, because of all the chunks of stuff that is in it, you know. But this one is fine. It's okay. Like I said, chop everything very small. the nuts, the pineapple, the prunes, the smaller you chop everything, the better off you are. Man, that stuff is good. Woo, woo, woo. And that recipe makes 8. So, you know, what I do, I'm going to put them in the freezer. And I have a couple slices every morning with coffee. Oh man, it's so good. Okay, so that's 30 minutes. These went in 30 minutes at 350. I love it. I mean, I'm crazy about pumpkin anyway. You know, pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, pumpkin soup, pumpkin salad. Alright, anyway, that's that. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. And if I don't see anybody, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And let's get rid of this COVID crap. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. And goodbye. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta eat.